Well, welcome back again, folks. It's time for the final map between Team Liquid and the Misfits here. The ESL One Cologne closed North American qualifiers onto the final map now, which is Train. And as you saw there, the knife round concluding. First time we actually play out the knife round, as it is the third map, so it comes down to that to decide the sides. But it has been resolved relatively quickly, and it's looking like Team Liquid is going to start off on the CT side, and Misfits will jump onto the T side. Bach, how are we looking on this?
Well, we were talking about it at the break. This is a map that Misfits has already played today. They looked okay on it, but when you look at the caliber of opponents, outside of the two victories at DreamHack Tours against Heroic and Navi, I know it's hard to just say don't look at those, but when you look at the opponents that Misfits has beaten on this map, the list is not that strong. And when you look at the teams that Liquid has beaten, like G2 and Cloud9, I just feel like Liquid has a little bit of an edge. It's not a map they play that often, though, so I guess right now that's what you're hoping for if you're Misfits. We knew that if they were going to win it, it was going to be here. We knew they would not take Kabul, but we'll see if they have what it takes here to take Train as well. Leash is going to pick off Amanek in the box halls as he continues to hold this position with ease from behind the spindles, falling off of box halls, and now it's come down to just Shazam. Stanislaw and Elish completely obliterate the hold. It's just it's an easy defense on the B bomb site, it seems, for Liquid.
Yeah, absolutely. Liquid get through that pistol round without a worry in the world, so it's a clean start for them. Looking like almost a completely different team to what we saw in Overpass in a lot of ways, with them coming in huge strides. And, well, unfortunately for Misfits, the same story is kind of true, as they've fallen off tremendously. But into the second round, without a plan or even anything close to that, Misfits do just force their way directly into it. We'll see how well they are able to fare, as they send quite a few of their players up into the White Halls. One will leap out from T-Con, however, and now the rest are going to try to move their way in. Great flash against Stanislaw. Does allow Sick to swing in there, and now they're moving in for quick control to take fully, back over here on B. They get it. They're going to be able to get the plant at the very least, but now they've got to be able to hold in the post plant. That's where things get rough, as they've already lost two of their own guys here. Sick trading an additional player back with an Elige with one additional pickup for the CT side. They'll make Sick into peeking two of them at the same time, and now everything has been left down to Amanek, trying to sneak his way back out over here on the sidewalk, but they are going to be positional. They won't necessarily be paying attention for an immediate push out from that smoke. Live for now, but that won't last very long. Elige knocks him out, and indeed Team Liquid keep it consistent, picking up their second round.
So Liquid continuing on the path we saw from them in the last map. Just first they decimate the push towards B, and then they allow the bomb to plant. They lose two players, but they still hold off. They come back in the retake. Only 2 kills so far thus far for the side of Misfits, and both of those are 6 in last round. It's going to be another save. Pistols in play here. Maybe Misfits can get another bomb down. Really feel that first buy. There's a couple of umps still in play here for Liquid, so they could do some damage here, given that it is armorless opponents, and that would be really strong for them to build up some cash flow. Elige going to be the first to spot them coming out of the ladder. That's 1, and then 2 for him as well. He's still on the bomb train, and he's got support, but they haven't spotted these players on the other side of that smoke. Sick's going to pick up 1, and again, he will be the only player for Team Misfits that has a kill, as he finds his third. Liquid destroy the push on the A site, and it will be 3 straight. No surprise there after picking up the pistol.
Yeah, but now we see Misfits finally getting themselves into the buy. They don't get that third plant, which means they have the one to work off of course, it is going to be a little bit limited besides that. Looking at the actual buy, though, it doesn't actually come out all that bad for AKs. The op with armor sitting behind it for Shazam. Pretty much everyone that bought AKs also getting themselves a smoke and molly combo, so definitely not looking bad at all. Now we have to see what kind of strats they'll execute towards it. This is what's going to be the big thing. Back on Kabul, we really didn't see a whole lot of it, and it led to a very, very one-sided half. And if we see something very similar here on Train, which is a common problem among North American teams, and this could end very, very similar to the way the Cobblestone ended, with Liquid just crushing the CT side, not even giving Misfits a chance to come back once they get a crack at it.
Elige getting aggressive, peeking into T-Con. Doesn't see anything early on. Deep smoke. Nitro is there with him as well. Really forward positions right now for some of the members from Liquid, but they're starting to fall back on those. Stanislaw is sitting at the bottom of the ladder. Elige is there as well. Nitro now moving back towards Ivy. He's on top of the green train. He can't see over that smoke, but he did hear that flashbang come out, and he knows that there's players here for the T side of Misfits. Still holding his ground, though, on top of this scene. Twist is watching the back lane from Horseshoe, and now he's going to move his way up. Sean Gare's looking the other direction currently. There's the molly in. That forces Twist out, but he gets the first one, gets the second on to Sean Gare's as well. He's going to continue that spray pattern, but there's no one there. It's a 2-on-2 still, as kills have come in for Misfits in the meantime. JDM pretty far away from Twist, and at that point, it's not really much he can do to help him. Twist is sold out and stuck in Ivy. The bomb will be planted. It's going to be up to JDM to make something happen.
JDM trying to work his way down the ladder room now. Out on the site, though. They're already set up for him, and without any additional assistance from his utility, he is indeed just going to wind up walking right into an op shot from Shazam, who will knock him out relatively quickly. So there we go. Immediately, Misfits onto the board with the first gun round going in their direction. They won't break Team Liquid just yet, but they're really only going to need that one additional gun round to be able to do it. JDM's looking pretty poor right now, down at 1450 overall. So they'll have to drop him an M4 for this upcoming round, and besides that, he's not going to be able to get the greatest investment either. And in fact, it actually doesn't. I thought they were going to drop him. Leech had 8K, so I thought they would go for it, but apparently they don't give him anything at all, so that'll be a little bit unfortunate. He'll just have to work with a P250 armor buy.
Elysian Nitro again playing a little bit further up here. They're actually going to boost up on top of the E-box. There's a smoke down right in front of them. It's just a weird position. You might not necessarily anticipate this. It's like that bunk bed play, one on the top and one beneath. As Nitro is on the ground, holding the same angle as Elige. And now he's keeping his view towards Ivy as well, just kind of sussing out everything on this A site. Twists is rotating back towards the cameras. Still no action developing, though. Some damage has been exchanged, but it's been mostly Misfits who have come up on the receiving end, with Amanek down to 43 HP. Reminder, JDM just on a lowly P250 here. He's now on the other side of the spindles, trying to find safety in that B bomb site. Stanislaw with a crack shot angle between the two pillars on the bomb train, peeking up towards the upper box hall's exit. He's still here on the other side of Pop Dog. The smoke comes down, but it's probably a bit of a fake here. It's only two players in this general vicinity for Misfits. They're just making noise right now, and they're going to see if they can get a kill, but it's not going to happen. The second that kill comes through, they're realizing, okay, this probably isn't a B play. Elige catches him as he falls down into the ladder room. That's actually Nitro there by his side. Nitro's going to pick up two more. Just like that, it's Shazam all alone. 30 seconds left on the clock. It should be a round for Liquid.
Yeah, Shazam going to be posting himself back over here inside of T-Con now to try to make his best efforts at this one, but to say the least, he's pretty much locked out of the situation, and the shot is only going to give him away even further now. Really no choice with 15 seconds remaining but to fall back and attempt to save. But even that may not prove to be possible. JDM will see how good his control is right now. Actually does miss the full cross from Shazam. But now he can move down, potentially try to knock him out post-timer, which would really mess up the money. And that's exactly what they're going to try to do. It's gone away now. Flashbang in. And hook, line, and sinker. Shazam goes down. Perfectly executed by Liquid there at the very end. And is going to leave Shazam. Actually not too bad. He's still pretty much even with the rest of his teammates there. So he's not going to be that bad off at this point in time, as he's still going to end up saving with the rest of his guys.
So Misfits knocked back down to pistols again here. So they're not really going to have a whole lot to work with. They don't even buy any utility. They're content to just full-on save. There's a little bit of money here for them to fall back on. They'll get $1,900 for this loss. So they'll be just on the cusp of a buy. I wouldn't be surprised to see it from them. Diva Duvek would be forced to work with either a Galil or maybe an ump, probably an ump. Because let's be real, who buys a Galil anymore? It's 2017. The Glocks and the P250 grouping up in box halls. It's just a matter of time before they waterfall out from upper box halls, which seems to be the plan. Stanislaw's up on top of the tanker train. Oh, he gets caught looking the other direction. He had a freebie in front of him, but instead he's looking the other way, and out they pour. They're at least going to get the bomb down, basically operating as a bullet shield for Sean Gares, who manages to secure the one thing they really wanted and get that extra $800 for the next round.
Yep. So Misfits making it through that round, getting the objective they wanted accomplished, but not getting much else done, which means, again, Team Liquid is going to be bolstered with another attempt to push up their economy. And Stan just gave him with a nice little 3K there, too. Him and Elige, once again, kind of going off on this map. Elige being the one that really showed up, not in the first map, but definitely came to party back on Cobblestone, and he seems to be carrying that through onto Train now. But another buy is on the way from the Misfits. Just that with an AK in the hands of Shazam, unfortunately. It is just going to be full 5 AKs with utility for everyone else. And we'll see how well they can fare this out as they continue to spread across the map. And once again, look like they're setting up for basically just your straightforward default here. Twist was going to challenge that, but the flashbang sent him reeling back over to the CT side of Ivy.
So there's the AKs in play across the board. That extra bomb plant really fielded a lot for Misfits. Helped boost the buy just enough to get mollies and smokes. All the accoutrement of a successful round for the T side. It's just going to come down to whether or not they utilize it properly. Right now, they're falling into a trap they fell into the first time they played Train today. Too slow to act. Got to be careful if you're Misfits that you don't let that happen. You can't continue in that trend where you're just a little too slow on your executes. Train and Inferno, for whatever reason, are two maps where teams consistently allow that to happen on their T side. They're down to a minute mark, and they're still stuck box halls and white halls as well. They haven't really moved up that far. Finally grouping up to go for a B push. where they've got Stanislaw on the other side of Pop Dog, and there's the smoke that could help slow things down. So again, it's good nade utilization right now from Team Liquid to try and delay this potential push coming in from the likes of Misfits, and Stan still has a molly, so if he uses this one right, he could easily delay this thing even longer.
Now Stan is going to be positioning himself back down at the edge of this smoke. It is actually going to let the Misfits move back in. 2 for 1 to start it back off as they go for basically just a shock play to take control of that site, and it works out. Problem is that they need to pay attention to their flank. Stan can just waltz right in right now and jump onto that bomb and kill both these players to boot. A little bit of a messy spray, but he does get the job done. Tries to hide behind the spindles. He will go down to that, but then Nitro moves in, picks up the trade against Shazam, just leaving Amanek alive, back over on the ramp. Somewhat of a predictable position. Normal's for sure going to check for him here. And it's also not really planted for him either. The Team Liquid are scrambling, trying to check out and see if he's hiding for his upper. They're not necessarily expecting him there. But again, good setup from Team Liquid to close out in the 2v1. They ensure the trade off of Nitro's hands. And this defuse, they'll have plenty of time to make it happen, sending Team Liquid up to 6 now.
Nitro didn't have a kit there, so he actually had great awareness to jump off the train and go grab that kit and wrap back around to get the bomb defused, because he wouldn't have had enough if it weren't for the fact that he had that kit. You know, the bomb's just not planted for Amanek Shazam, who went out wide on upper. I think he got stuck on... No, he didn't get stuck on the ladder. Just saw his kill. It looked like it from my perspective, but he kind of had to swing out wide to help his teammates. But ultimately, in doing so, he puts himself in a very vulnerable position, and it's no surprise that he meets his end there. So, it's now just 1 round for Misfits compared to 6 for Liquid, but again, another bomb plant here for Misfits shows that they are able to get onto the bomb sites themselves. They're not necessarily struggling with getting site control so much, because out of the rounds they have lost, 50% of them have been bomb plants. So that's good economic cash flow coming in for the T side, but it also just shows that it's a matter of time before they're able to hold off that retake. So back to the AKs they go yet again. No op one more time here for the Misfits side. JDM does have it for the CTs of Liquid. Elige again throws the smoke down on ladder, and he moves up aggressively towards T-Con. Seeing this a lot from Liquid, liking this play towards T-Con, liking to get a little bit aggressive on this area to try and lock down that portion of the map. But this time around, it's going to be mostly Ivy presence for Misfits, as they've already got 3 players there, including the bomb.
Well, Misfits trying to sneak their way in through Ivy, and they'll finally start up this hit now. So Nitro's got to be on point to defend it. His Twist is stuck on the other side of the smoke. Can't really do much currently while I say that, but he is able to move through and strike regardless. 3 for 2, now 3 for 3 as these kills are going back and forth and back again. But JDM is able to keep himself alive. Dodge Sean for right now, and now line himself up with the flash, sends him back behind coverage. Now he's just barely alive at 1 HP. Was already at like 22 or something like that. But Stan's going to move in on the flank. Once again, arriving just when he's needed. Be able to shut down Shazam. Wasting a little bit more time. Sean's absolutely going to be able to get the plant, but now he's pinched. He's in between a rock and a hard place. Unfortunately, JDM peeks right out into the open with only 1 HP. A whiff of the wind from Sean will take him down. Now this is absolutely winnable for Sean, but that molly's going to send him into the open. He's still given enough room to fall back behind the bomb train, though. Stan's going to be a little bit frustrated about that. He just can't find the finishing blow, and he's running low on time to even defuse this bomb now. He does have the kit, so he's got the 5 seconds, but he needs to get more aggressive. He needs to push forward. Sean's not taking that duel. Finally, he does. Moves out into the open, and there is enough time for Stanislaw to be able to hop back up, jump on this bomb, and defuse it. Sending Team Liquid forward even more, up to 7 now.
These rounds are costing Liquid a lot of money, but they build up a decent amount early on, so it's not killing them, but it's certainly not helping them either. Like, Stan's going to have to drop an op for JDM. Nitro has 10k, so he really doesn't need anything. And Elysian Twist on 5k as well, but if they could hold on to some of these guns, it would definitely bode well for them moving forward. Misfits have them not on the edge of a reset, but they're keeping them crippled just enough that if they can manage to find 1 round, maybe there's only 1 more buy-up from Liquid before they're completely broke. So it's working out nicely for Misfits in the long run, but they're not getting the rounds in those 1v1s and close clutch scenarios, the post plants. Again, it's another bomb plant and another successful defuse for Liquid. That's now 4 separate occasions where they've been able to get the bomb down, but could not quite hold it off, even though it looked like, you know, Sean Garris was going to win it for a moment there. Now we can see Misfits grouping up for an A execute, and they're moving in fast as well, trying to blow right past the site, and it works out well for them. They've still got to worry about Elige, who's up top, and now Stanislaw as well is locking down Z Connector. He's got no support from JDM, who again was playing upper box halls, so he's a little bit slow to get into position here. But the bomb's been dropped, so they do have some clock to work with. JDM now rotating in from CT spawn, so they do have a bit of a pinch going on right now. But it looks like Stan wants to move back towards ladder, as they haven't heard that bomb come down yet.
JDM's got plenty of time to get himself into a good position here, too. It doesn't look like anyone on Misfits is watching for these tunnels as of the moment. So he's going to have free reign. Granted, they're not peeking for the tunnels either. So it's kind of a switcheroo. As now JDM is going to have to swing himself around over towards Ivy. Look for a route back in. Stan doing the same thing. Stan may have a little bit of problems, though, as, yeah, Amanek is just going to be waiting for him at the bottom of that ladder. And with the loss of his teammate, I don't even think JDM's going to go for this anymore. He spotted no peaks at all within, the angles he's been trying to check over towards the old bomb tunnel. So it's just not going to end up being worth it. He'll get this one up. He'll let Misfits get a second. Despite the run of 4 rounds now from Team Liquid, their money's actually not looking that great. They should have enough to force into this next round, but after that, if they drop that one, they're going to be immediately broken.
This is what I was just talking about coming into this round, right? Like, they didn't have really good money coming into this, so they constantly having to buy up like 1 or 2 people meant that they were on the edge, not quite at the point of a full reset where it was going to be pistols, but close enough that the buy should be broken coming into this round, and then after this they would be out of money. So that's exactly what we see. 2 umps and a FAMAS in play, and there's almost no money left for anyone on the team. The high roller right now for Liquid is Twist at a whopping $900. JDM's going to go gamble position on top of the bomb train, wanted to peek towards T-Connector, but there's so much down on the field already in the way of utility. Sean Garrett's pop flashing through the smoke, pushing past and in towards Ivy. Twist is there. JDM gets greeted with a close range AK. Amanek finding one as well. Elise just picked up a kill in the meantime, but again, it comes down to 1. And again, it's Stanislaw with his M4 and his knife out. And he's trying to get into a position to make a play. At least Devo Duvek and Amanek are low on HP this time around, but they're going to have plenty of time to try and figure out where Stan is moving in from. If Stan can get a backstab and they don't anticipate it, it's all going to come down to trigger discipline.
Flying just slowly kind of creep his way forward. As he reaches connector, he did not spot Shazam to his right side, which means he is going to be open. He actually got that second kill back on Devo Duvek. I almost missed that as well. He pretty much almost clutched that. If he was able to predict the fact that Shazam was going to be at ladder, a large possibility he pulls off that 1v3. But still, the fact that he brings it down to just 1 at the very end of it is impressive in its own right. So keeps the T-side money low. There's still quite a few rounds to go in this half. We're seeing a very similar chain of events overall in this half, and that Misfits, start off really, really poor and are just not really giving Team Liquid a whole lot of fight, to be completely honest. But now, sort of towards the end of the half, they are coming back into it. The thing is, though, is that in this half, they're coming back in much, much earlier than they did on Cobblestone, where it was really only for those last, 2 or 3 rounds that they started to put up an actual fight.
The bigger problem, too, is, Cobblestone is not a CT-sided map like Train is. Not even close. So it was way worse on Cobble. This is actually not bad for Misfits right now. They've got Liquid broke. It's going to be pistol, so it means a 4th round likely to come their way. That's the what they were able to hit on Cobble. So this is not bad at all. Right now, if you're Misfits, you're pretty happy with the way that things are developing, but not here at least. My goodness, so many kills coming in for the CT side, given that was just a full save. And if Sick dies there, that's a 1 versus 1 where there's an AK in front of the remaining player. I think that was Stan that was the last one left alive there for Liquid. So again, good damage dealt from Liquid. Keeps Misfits in the same situation that they themselves were in for the last few rounds, where they're constantly having to buy up guns and being on the edge of bankruptcy. That the speed play that we've seen from Misfits might be key. I feel like they just need to keep playing fast. When they've been playing slow, Liquid has been able to predict and slow things down and delay even longer and put Misfits into trap plays where they're taking sites with 20 seconds left. If Misfits continue to play a little bit faster, I think that they could take quite a few more rounds, because they've shown more than once that they can catch Liquid off guard.
Well, now we will see Misfits try to line up for another sort of interesting play here. They've got 2 guys on Ivy trying to move in with 3 on top of ladder room right now. So I'm curious to see the end game here. If they are going to try to go for a 3-man interplay and then attempt to have the others kind of push in late and act as just cutoffs for the rotators. But we'll find out more on that in a second, I imagine. There's still a minute left on the clock, so they could very easily change up these positions in a very big way to lead into something more akin to like a default. But we are going to find out more about that pretty soon here. Liquid's still keeping 4 on outer sight, however, so it'll be well defended if Misfits do try to execute into another default here. Only Stanislaw being left in to defend the inner sight. However, again, he has been one of the big players for Liquid, so if you're going to leave a guy alone, it's probably a pretty smart idea to leave it to be him.
JDM now getting aggressive with this op towards T-Connector. He's realizing he fell off whatever ledge it is he's standing on. He's on the edge of the train, so he hops back up, but he's not going to see much. It is going to be a B play right now from Misfits, And it's going to be Stan there alone right now. He really needs some help from his team. Amanek, look at his position. He's right on the other side of the smoke. He charges through. The two players don't even see each other. Amanek comes out on top, and Stanislaw is caught looking the opposite direction. The B bomb site has been compromised, and Misfits have full control. I mean, yeah, Liege has a nice backstab, but even still, there's not really much that they can do about this one.
Yeah, Nitro now left alone, just playing with Devaduvik on top of the bomb train. More so trying to fight for survival than anything. But Devaduvik still wins it out, and it's a 3-man alive round for Misfits as they push up onto 5, and that's going to put Team Liquid into, again, a pretty bad spot economically speaking here. They will have to go for a half buy for some and a full save for a lot of their other players.
So Misfits are really getting right back into this game. Just like that, I mean, it was 7-1, and all of a sudden it's 7-5, likely to be 7-6. That's a good T-side half. They've really turned things around. Now, to be fair, this is a map that Misfits are proficient on, and we've seen that already tonight from them. So it's not like Liquid is playing absolutely terribly. It is a good map for Misfits. I still give a slight edge to Team Liquid. I have them predicted to take this one, but if Misfits can keep this thing going, maybe they take the lead at half, and maybe they can ride that wave of momentum into that second half as well. They get the bomb down. There's limited opportunities here for Liquid on the post plant. They do have Stanislaw with an AK, but they don't have a kit, and that nade just landed right in Stanislaw's breadbasket. That drops him down to just 60 HP. But he's right around the corner from Sick, and if Sick opens fire, there's not much he's going to be able to do. He knows where Sick is at, though, and he can at least make the call, but he can't communicate that in time for his teammate in the site. So Stanislaw just looking to spill a little bit more blood here, but he has no idea where Sick went, you can tell. Finally catches Sick on top of the brown train. He knows Amanek is towards Pop Dog. Shazam's trying to get out of there as he's low on HP. Amanek is just gluing him onto the site. But Stanislaw is doing a good job. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. If I'm going to die, you're going to die with me. He keeps Amanek here, and he will go down with a bomb.
Yeah, so happy to die with the bombs. You could tell with him just staying in the site towards the very end of it. Plus sitting on like 6,300, so he's pretty much good even if he did die there for these last 2 rounds. So not too worried about that. Now this buy from Liquid is already looking very interesting. A triple hop setup for them, which may not have been accidental. We'll see this in a second. I've seen this before.
I was kind of hoping Elise would buy one too, just for fun. Yeah, okay, so triple op. You kind of wonder, would it make more sense to just get an op and a Scar 20 instead? But, okay. The triple op setup. Stan's going to put his inside. JDM is towards bomb train. Where's that remaining op? It's Ivy. It's Twist watching back lane. So, this is the kind of round that costs you ridiculous amounts of money. You can see just where they sit after the buy-up. They're going to be at full loss bonus, so they'll still get $3,400, but that doesn't really do much favors to the CT side. They've still got the first 2, and it's only one of them coming by way of an op. Finally, JDM gets a second, but now you're starting to look at this triple op and you're going, okay, well, the 2 other oppers didn't really do anything. It was the one op. JDM finishes off the 3K. It's an 8th round for Liquid, but if you're Misfits, you're just really happy with the way things have gone. It's a pretty successful T-side half.
Yeah, I mean, after starting off so poorly, bringing it back to at least 6 rounds, possibly 7 if they can win out this one, is certainly going to be, palatable and very winnable if they start strong on the CT side here. It's basically just a standard pretty close half, although they did start off rather poorly, and it was a Team Liquid crushing it, but just took them a while to get in gear. And after they found their footing, it's been pretty decent so far here from the Misfits. Last round is going to be a little bit of a disappointment though in terms of the actual buy. P250 for Sick is already looking pretty drastic, and then you have 2 Tech 9s and Ump, and then the only real rifle on the board is going to end up being Shazam with the op. So we will have to see how this interesting combo plays out for them as Misfits could just go back into slower styled plays for this final round, just spreading their players out across the box, white, and outside of T-spawn areas.
Minute 15 left here for Misfits to make something happen in the final round of this first half. Really turn things back around as it progressed. Shazam does have the op, but the rest of the team not working with a whole lot. It's an ump and a couple of Tech 9s. Shazam and Amanek having a bit of an argument about who's going to carry the bomb here. Amanek's like, yo, bud, you got an op. I got a pistol. You're taking it. And Shazam's like, yeah, but I have an op. You have a pistol. You're taking it. Finally, they settle things down. Shazam's going to hold the op, watching the push from the stairs. Sean Garris drops in. Amanek right by his side. And now you can see why he wanted to give that bomb to Shazam, as that was the plan all along. And Shazam's the last one standing, so I guess you can make an argument for him holding it. But 5 players survive. The triple op setup, maybe it's just a placebo effect, but it seems to have worked out for Team Liquid in the end as they close things out 9-6. But again, Misfits really brought it back. It's not a bad half at all. Not too shabby from them.
No, not at all. So now We just have to wait and see if Misfits can carry things over on the CT side. Is the very least on this map, they're given way more of a cushion to actually work with than what they had on Cobblestone here. They keep themselves consistent. They're able to win out, 6 rounds overall in the half, so making them look much better overall. So once again, folks, just waiting for players to ready up, and then we will be going into that second half to see who will be able to push forward into the grand finals to take on CLG. We have 1 slot and 1 slot only up for grabs in Cologne. And it's going to be between one of the 3 remaining teams in this event. At the moment, both Misfits and Team Liquid fighting for survival to move on to the next match. We'll have to play CLG in another best of 3 to claim the NA invite slot, or the NA qualifier slot, excuse me. They already have invited the NA teams.
So just looking at the match that Misfits played earlier tonight on Train, we never really got to see their T side because they started on the CT side and they went up to a 13-2 half. Given was Splice, not Liquid. 2 different caliber of teams with different levels of experience on different playing fields. But at the same point in time, they had a really good CT side. So we didn't really know what to expect from them on their T side. So even though early on we're like, oh man, Misfits, what happened? You were good on Train earlier. We'd never really seen that T side yet today, so we didn't know what to anticipate. But just like Team Liquid, maybe coming into things a little bit cold on Train on their T side, they seemed to warm up and get an idea as to what it was Team Liquid was doing, and they seemed to find a decent counter to it as well. So now that we move into the second half, can Misfits repeat their success from earlier tonight against Splice, or was that a bit of a mismatch there? Was Misfits just that much better than Splice that it didn't matter what side of the map they were on, they were still going to dominate? That was a good map for Splice coming into that series, so one could make the argument for that. But can Liquid repeat what they've been doing here in that last map? Dominate on their T side? Can they make that happen? Misfits are at a 3-round disadvantage. It's all going to start with that pistol round.
Yeah, and once again, we are just waiting for that one. So we've seen some good stuff from both teams and all across all 10 players. I mean, everybody's pretty much had their moments so far in the set. So before, the only one, to me, that really hasn't shown anything just yet has been like Devo Duvek. We haven't really seen any highlights or anything like that from him so far, but yeah, pretty much everyone else in the server has been showing up so far. The thing is, though, for Misfits is, right, we saw a lot of it on the first map, but it really hasn't come back in a huge stride. It has been the team working together more than just the individualistic showing up like it was on Overpass. So if we got that back, if we got that Misfits back in play, specifically the way that like Shazam was playing it out, then there's absolutely an opportunity for Misfits to swing back into this game and then just dominate on CT side. But like I said, that kind of went away after Overpass, and for me at least, we haven't really seen that come back in a huge way just yet. It's been the consistency from Liquid that's been kind of carrying them through not only Cobblestone, but their victories on Train here as well, and that mainly comes at the hands of, in my opinion, throughout this map so far, Nitro and Stanislaw.
So this is where the rubber meets the road of your Misfits. Got to make something happen here, otherwise this game could spiral out of control. Because even though it is a CT-sided map, we've seen far more bizarre things occur tonight. And in general, Liquid across the board has seemed to at least to me, and probably to you as well, to be a more consistent performer from top to bottom. Whereas a lot of times we've seen individual pieces from Misfits shine through, but the team collectively, as a cohesive unit, has not always clicked. Early damage being exchanged there on Ivy, but those players are going to fall off and they're going to regroup in the box halls right now, actually working up towards the showers as they try and wash off that first half. They're going to be moving in towards B, but they've been spotted. A player pushes up on the ladder. That was Sean Garris with the CZ, so he doesn't do any damage, but he gets all the intel in the world. He knows there's a lot of players grouping up there, and that means that Amanek is going to be pressured here in just a moment. He takes damage. He has to fall off, and he moves back into the B site looking for a headshot angle as they begin this push into the B bomb site.
Amanek finding the first kill here against Elige. But Duvek and Amanek finding another one too. Amanek just going off. Ends up with a third kill before he finally is eliminated by Nitro now. Shazam picking one up, but it's not before Nitro picks up 2 kills in his own regard. Still, though, it is up to Stanislaw alone at the end of the day, but he's making a move right now, swinging through ladder room, trying to go out to way. I actually think he's going to get the free pledge. Shazam was looking like he was going to go through Z for a second there, but then canceled it, and that's going to be a big mistake, because now it does allow Stanislaw to get out onto the site, at the very least find a play, and now he's just going to turret himself down behind the bomb train and try to hold on here. He will be dealing with flanks from Sick in a second, so he can't just stick here. He's going to have to watch out for more than one angle in a moment, and as he pushes up, tries to hide behind the first nuke box on the left side, gives himself away. They know he's here now. He's trying his best to waste as much time on the triple shot, finds one, tries to swing into a second, but it won't happen, and of course Misfits are going to be left with plenty of time to defuse that ball.
I like the play there. He's just trying to buy clock as much as possible, so Stanislaw escapes. That second shot from Amanek on the one tap on the guy who was jumping past Pop Dog after getting hit by a nade was sick. But it's still around for Misfits, as you know, Stanislaw manages to survive that chaos in the B site, gets away with the bomb, gets it planted, gets one kill even. He tried to kill clock, but he couldn't kill enough of it. So Misfits win the pistol, and now they can bring this thing right on back. Liquid haven't even spent a dime. They're going to use just a couple of smokes to try and get onto the bomb site. Not wanting to force up here, they're going to go for that third round AK buy, which, if I'm not mistaken, Misfits did that as well on Train earlier tonight when they switched over to the T side. I know that we've seen it at least once tonight. That third round AK buy has proved to be quite successful for teams across the board. Umps for 3 players, Amanek, Sean Gares, and Sick. Devo Duvek working with that FAMAS, and then Shazam on the M4. Really no action early on here, but look at the positioning from Sick. He charges into T-Connector, and that's an early kill. Given that this is just pistols, that should have been a bit of a freebie to a certain degree, as the Ump should have taken over, but with crossed positions, he couldn't put damage down on both players to, you know, keep aim punch as a factor. So he gets bested by the pistols, and that'll be a gun gifted over to Liquid.
Well, we can see Devo Duvek getting ready to counter out this push from the ladder room now, but he's going to have to deal with a lot more than that. Thankfully, he has teammates in the site to attempt to help him out in that regard. Smoke coverage is actually really not great. Look, Devo Duvek is still free to just sit here right now, so he can swing back out. It's actually not him that gets the first kill. It's Shazam and Amanek that find them. But Devo, he's finally going to have his time to jump in action here, and he gets the double kill. Amanek closes out on the last frag. They do allow Team Liquid to escape with the plant, but the round is very much going into the favor of the Misfits here. But with that double plant, should mean that we'll see the full buy from Team Liquid in the next round, and they'll have like full utility and everything behind it too.
I mean, they're going to get 1,900 plus 800. The op is questionable. I'm curious if JDM's going to go for it, because he has enough to buy op. We'll see if he decides to go that route, or if they're just going to go with AKs. Yeah, he is going to go with it. He had enough for op body armor. You know, the only reason that you look at that is you're like, okay, well, are Misfits going to field it? Are they going to go and try and bonus play us? You know, Shazam's got the op in hand, so clearly content to put the big green cannon in play. So we'll see the 2 turrets for both sides facing off against one another. JDM's in T-Con early, wanted to peek towards Z. It's not going to happen as the molly lands, as does a smoke or a flash to follow. So he can't see much of anything. Tries to send a shot through the wall. If anything, all he says is, we do have an op this round. Beware. The bomb's still back down by T-Spawn. Stanislaw's in T-Connector. They're blowing out the windows right now, just to make sure there's no glass in the way if they do go for an execute, making noise. Nitro and Elige moving into the box halls. We've got Sean Gares watching this B site solo as of right now, as Amanek, who is supporting from Z, has rotated back towards A.
Well, we do have them trying to spin their way into their actual execute setup now. They've still got mollies and smokes prepped for that. They actually have to line themselves up for the hit in the next 20 seconds or so. Misfits not really panicking or over-aggressing anywhere across the map. They're just still sitting in a nice, calm default setup. So they do have the second player committed to the B-bomb set. It's not looking like that is going to change anytime soon, which puts a bit more pressure on these outer players, since support is not going to be as strong as it has been in some of these past rounds. We'll have to wait and see exactly how this does pan out, since Liquid is only just now getting ready to go for their execute, and it is essentially just the default minus Ivy presence. And as soon as the smoke fades, I think they're going to move back in. Ali's just waiting for him to be cleared, so he doesn't lose his own life right at the start. And now in they'll go. He'll lose his life anyway, though, unfortunately. Shazam immediately hitting one there. He does get responded to, but it's only a leg on a 17 HP. Twist, though, hopping around there. He moves in and is able to find Devo Duvek, but Shazam now with a second pickup. Molly's going to prevent him from re-peeking, at least on that side of the bomb train for right now. But he's still checking out the other side here, trying to hit a few shots, and there's a lot of chaos going on around him. He's able to get up on top, though, finds himself the third kill now. Twist and Nitro trading those 2 kills out, just leaving Shazam and Amanek in the play, but Amanek comes out on top in another 1v1. It's down to Shazam and Nitro 1v1ing, both players extremely low, and Shazam tapping onto the bomb, looking for the peek over top the train. He's right to read into that, but Nitro doesn't fully commit. He's playing this nice and slow, wrapping back around to look for Shazam. Wasting so much time. Shazam just tries to go for the play, and it does not pan out, so Nitro is going to shut it down, and Team Liquid will hold on to their lead and push up to 10.
And you got to applaud Nitro. That was just really well played. First he goes up, tries to head peek the ladder, flies off, and then advances to the site, and all he starts doing is shooting around the bomb vicinity just to pull Shazam off. He knew exactly what he was doing. It was really well played, And Misfits, they're not going to just surrender here. They're going to buy up as much as they can. It means a scout's going to be put in play, a couple of umps as well. So the advantage right now for Team Liquid, economically speaking, as they still have the op and they've got a couple of AKs to boot. JDM moving that op up. And we'll see if he's able to get into position to drop anyone. No aggression towards the box halls this round from the CT side. Instead, it's going to be, again, that double setup that we've seen time and time again from both teams on that CT side, putting 2 players in the bottom of ladder room. Shazam pushed up aggressively with an M4 towards T-Con, looking for intel early on. Amanek just popping shots off from Z connector. Sean Gares, I mean, he's as passive as you can be on this B site. Head peeking from the brown train with a molly in hand, just waiting for a push to come through to try and throw one down on the bomb train or at least lower ramp to slow things down. But still no clear direction decided upon by Liquid. It does appear to be a box halls push as JDM, oh man, what a shot. Squeezes one over the train. You could barely see the head of Sean Gares, but he delivers the coup de grace, and it's going to be kills now piling up for Liquid as they've lost 2 more players, and now it's down to just 1. Devo Duvek doing what he can from Z. At least he picks up 1 kill on the push, but that's going to be it for him and for Misfits, as they will be now reset, forced to work with pistols, and potentially pistols in the next.
Clean round from Team Liquid, and that is exactly what they did need here to bolster up their own economy, to reestablish the lead that they had going for a long time on the first half, but have now seemed to somewhat lose track of it. Misfits will end up on a full save for this round, so not expecting anything super fantastic from them. It should be pretty much a walkover round from Team Liquid, but we will wait and see how that pans out. The nade that was tossed in from the CTs actually is not that badly placed. It's just the timing on it wasn't that great. If they threw that like a second or 2 later, they might have had much greater impact. Misfits this time, though, is trying to go a lot more aggressively out onto the A-bomb site. It is just not really working, however, as you've seen. 2 kills back-to-back, already leading to the elimination of Sick and Devo.
3 remaining players here, now just 2, and now just 1. It's going the way you would expect as Liquid survive with all 5 players, and they survived with 4 in the previous as well, so money is starting to tally up here for Liquid. Whereas Misfits is scraping together. They're reaching between the couch cushions, looking for pennies, recycling cans, whatever they can figure out to try and field a buy. And they still don't feel comfortable with what they've got. Devo Duvek is going to buy an up as he was a little bit higher on the totem pole with the cash. But the rest of the team's just going down to pistols, knowing that they need the utility, which they wouldn't have been able to get. They would have had M4's body armor, probably no kit, very limited utility, maybe a smoke and a flash. So they're back down to pistols one more time, and it should be an easy round for Liquid. As you can see thus far, they've already gotten 2 kills. Only 3 remaining players, now just 2 again. It's Shazam and Amanek who are left standing. Stanislaw is the only one who's taken any damage, and he's actually at fear of losing his life as Shazam's right around the corner with his P250.
Well, and there we go. Shazam is going to hit that shot against Stanislaw. They do indeed force the loss of his life, so Shazam's going to pick up the AK, and now both of them will just kind of sit back, relax, and try their best to save these guns. Is once again, like we forecasted previously, Team Liquid is just going to end up walking over this round, getting them up to 13, really leaving Misfits only 1 or 2 more real chances here to try and stop Team Liquid from pushing forward and winning out this map.
Shazam just holding on to this AK. Amanek with a CZ75 in spawn. Shazam's watching top ladder, hoping that maybe Liquid gets a little bit curious as to where these guns have gone. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Nitro's the only one even near them. The rest of the players hanging back in Ivy. They'll take a little bit of damage from the bomb, but they're not at any risk of losing their lives. Don't want to throw those guns away. Again, continuing to build that money up as best as they possibly can to fight against anything that Misfits can throw at them. And it will be the double op that's thrown in their direction. Amanek and Shazam both going to be carrying the AWP here for Misfits. It looks like Shazam is going to be working towards A. Amanek also in that area. He's over towards Z now, jumping up onto the bomb train. Just 1 op for Liquid, but we've seen them work with more than that. The triple op setup came out in that first half. Sean Gares again is solo on B. They still feel content working this 4-man A defense, but they've already lost one of those players as Devo Duvek gets spotted by Stanislaw before the smoke goes down on the ladder train.
Yeah, so already Misfits losing 1 player here. It does seem like they are kind of running out of steam from the first half. But the round not even close to being over just yet. The rest of Team Liquid now keeping themselves together towards the box halls in just one tight group. They're probably just going to go for a straightforward nerd execute, to be honest. They've already got a man advantage. You know, nice ability to be able to predict the fact that, okay, at most there's probably gonna be like one guy in the site since we've been hitting outer in these early rounds so much, and there you go. They move in, catching Amanek completely unawares of the situation. JDM is going to be able to knock him out, and for the last 3, they're completely disconnected from all this. So to be honest, they're probably going to save and just let Team Liquid go up to 14 so that they can still have some firepower going into round number 8.
So Misfits just going to hang on to these guns, knowing that they've given up Liquid, or they've given Liquid just too much. Sick and Sean Garris both in T-Con, Shazam watching T-Spawn from Ivy. And now Liquid's feeling comfortable going on the hunt. They're sending feelers out right now towards Ivy, Stanislaw, and Nitro just behind him. They want to try and take this off out of Shazam's hands if possible. He's going to be holding the line, though. It's a pretty easy shot on the first one. If Nitro peeks, it'll be an even easier shot the second time around. However, Shazam's going to get caught off guard. He's looking the other direction. It's a big kill. Dropping the op really hamstrings the defense here, as Sean Garris and Sick are the only two to survive. Now, Sick has enough to buy an op if he wants to. He can also double drop M4s, which would hold more value for the team. So there's a discussion right now amongst Misfits as they go for the pause. What are we going to do? They go for the op.
I'll buy in for the op. So we'll see what else they are able to piece together here. I mean, like, all in all, it's not actually going to end up being a bad buy. Shazam's really not going to have anything because he has the op, and he didn't really have that much cash left over anyway. But for the other 4, they should have full rifle and utility as far as I can see with the buyouts that I'm looking at right now. There shouldn't really be anything inhibiting that. So it's actually going to be a pretty well-bought round. It's just strategically, again, things are really falling apart here. What is this now? 5 rounds straight for Team Liquid. And quite a few of them, to be completely honest, if you kind of just look across how many players have been left alive at the end of it, for the last 4 out of 5, they've just gotten completely destroyed, and it's either been 4 or 5 players left alive from Team Liquid every single time. Misfits haven't even gotten close. So not only are they, just getting trounced on, but they're not even getting enough kills, so it's not even giving them a great amount of bonus money or anything like that. It's probably just leaving really low morale over on Misfits, so they need to pause, just set up strats, and just give themselves a breather, as I imagine mentally this is getting a little toxic at this point.
So they go for the op. It's understandable. Like you said, the buy isn't bad around that. It was just a matter of, okay, is the op working for us? Has it been a big part of the defense? Or has the op just been saved multiple rounds in a row? Which I feel like that's more or less the case. Here, though, they bring that op towards A, and Shazam is able to get things going early on with a kill from the cameras. He's actually going to get one more, so all of a sudden this op seems worth it. Gets burned out of position, though, as he can't manage to escape the flames. And now the rest of his team is falling in his absence. It's Amanek and Sean Garris, and they're trying to get into positions to deny this round. They don't want to give up that 15th one to Team Liquid. Smoke refresh on Z connector. Sean Garris isn't going to be able to deny the plant. Amanek has already pushed up all the way from Old Bomb. Nitro spots him, and he's got to take this fight because he can't really hold himself off here. He's not sure what's coming in from Z. Amanek's fallen off all the way back behind Old Bomb. Nade lands in his lap too, down to 15 HP. So it's up to Sean Garris here to make something happen. He's got to create space for Amanek to work with. Nitro spotted him. Good little flick from Sean Garris. And it brings us down to a 2-on-2. There's only one kid in play, and it's on Amanek. So it's got to get close to the bomb train just in the event that he does meet his end. Stanislaw and JDM trying to close things out. Stands behind E-Box. JDM by ladder. The flash comes in, but it's not really on the mark. Doesn't do much of anything. And oh, that's brutal. Oh no, JDM! He flubs it. Doesn't matter. He's got a second one, and Stanislaw's there anyway. Good God, if that costs the round. Because he actually kind of mollied himself out of position for a second. So if he had lost the round with that miss throw, that would have been brutal for Liquid.
It almost looked like he mollied his teammate for a second, too. I think it was a little bit too far back to actually push Stan out. Stan just went for the play anyway and dominates it, so nicely done from him. And that is going to push Team Liquid up onto match point here, with Misfits not having the greatest rebuy. Granted, they get the guns, they just don't get the utility. 2 mollies, decent enough smokes, but sacrifice has to be made for Sean. And other limitations here, too. So definitely winnable, but not optimal at the moment for the Misfits' buy. And I imagine Team Liquid, true to their style so far in this half, are probably just going to take this nice and slow.
No reason to really push things too fast. There is no op this time around. Misfits couldn't afford it. Will be 4 M4s, not a single kit in sight. So all of these close retakes that we've seen the last few rounds where there was a window of opportunity for Misfits, that's kind of gone. Because now they're going to have to move a lot faster if they want to try and get that bomb defused. Sean Garris relegated down to just an ump, but he does have a bit of utility to back it up. Incendiary, Flash, and HE. On the other side of the field, we've got so much in play still for Team Liquid, and that's with what they've already thrown out. Sean Garris going to try and use this molly to the best of his advantage. He's going to hold on to it for now, and he heaves it out as the box falls. No, he holds it, eventually drops it at the bottom of ramp. So they bait that molly out, and it has limited effect there for Misfits. Nade down at the bottom of ladder. Windows being shot out by Elige. It does look like we're going to see an A execute in just a moment here, and there is a bulk of the players for Misfits in this general vicinity.
They are getting ready to explode out. Team Liquid, this is now, as time is getting low. And they'll start that move in with Twists leading the charge for them, as per usual here. More smokes back over onto the lane, but Sick holds for his first kill. Doesn't last too long, though, as Elige trades one out. The moment, though, it's working out for the Misfits. They've kept it even down to a 2v2, and they have a small pinch coming in from Sean. He's moved quicker on that one, though, as Devo's hand may be forced if he's made to wait too much longer here. Already getting himself into a battle, but Sean counters that back out, so it comes down to a 1v2 at the hands of JDM. Stuck in Z. Honestly, not going to be the greatest position to play from here. Trying to throw the molly back out, but he's denied. Devo just sprays through the smoke, knocks him out of the play. And with that said, we will see Misfits close out, keeping them alive for at least a little bit longer, 9-15.
I just learned something there. So JDM died while throwing a molly, and when the molly rolls around on the ground, it's still lit.
I've seen that a few times before. I think it's like when if you prep it, like you hold the button down and then you die in the process, it like remains lit, but it doesn't actually like explode or anything.
That's interesting. I just honestly I've never seen, like, my camera went third person in that moment, so I could see the Molotov like rolling around, and I was like, oh, it's still lit. That's interesting. I just never actually seen that happen before. I've seen other strange things like chairs spawn out of the sky that just land randomly on the map when it lags, but never seen that one. But I mean, Liquid, they've still got plenty of opportunities to close this game out. That's just 3 rounds now for Misfits, all of them post-plan. Pistol round, round 2, and now round 9 in the second half. All of them have been post-plant scenarios, so Liquid has still controlled the map with pretty much a great success. Misfits has been able, on rare occasion, to get back into the round with the retake. Here, though, still not fantastic for Misfits. You know, they've already burned through some of their utility early on, and they've only got, you know, Amanek on just an ump, nothing backing it up, whereas Liquid still had plenty of cash to fall back on, and then fall back on again, and potentially even again. Great flashbang in, though, for Devo Duvek, so Stanislaw can't see a thing before he meets his demise. And another kill coming in as well. Shazam now chiming in with his op, so pretty successful round thus far for Misfits. It's down to just 2. It's Elige and JDM, but off to a great start here in the round. JDM still tries to bring it back as he picks off Amanek with his AWP, and it's recoverable for Liquid. Not necessarily out of the question, but still way more difficult than it could have been or should have been with the way that Misfits played that one early on.
Well, Devil Duvek now backing up onto the site to try and play more passively, specifically to counter out a push. But the problem is they crossed as soon as he went behind the box, so he was not aware of how this play happened. Look at Shazam, though. Full man mode, dominating that entire play. Goes out from the smoke. Thankfully for him, that molly actually misses, and now JDM diving back inside, trying to stay alive for a little bit longer, but he only seals his fate, as soon as he goes back outside, it's an easy spray and kill for Sean Garris to get to close out on that round. They now sit just 5 rounds away from being able to take this to OT, but they're not even close to breaking Team Liquid's money just yet. Still at least this round, and possibly one more force to come after it.
Let's see. They'd have 3 rounds of loss bonus, so they'd have, you know, $2,400 if they get a bomb plant. It's a full buy. So if they get a bomb plant, it's another full buy after this. That's how much money they had, because JDM would still have enough for an op after that. He'd have $6,500 without factoring in kill cash. That's pretty crazy when you really think about it. Liquid had built up a serious amount of money right now for them on their T side. But Misfits is fighting right on back. They're trying to make this one close, and that's Shazam with the op. He's coming alive again here as he's managed to get his favorite gun in play yet again here in this second half. Nitro throws a smoke down on top of the molly. He wants to push past it. There's another smoke on the ground right there, and he's going to pick it up as well. So, not a waste of a smoke as he picks up the little bit of utility that was left behind from his fallen comrade. But it's a man advantage for Misfits, clicking down to the 1-minute mark, as we can see them trying to spread out across this A site. Twist is in T connector. The bomb is back in T spawn. 2 players moving up from Ivy. Twist with a great shot onto Sick and that makes things a little bit easier. The pill is easier to swallow here for Liquid. Still, though, they've lost players on Ivy as Amanek picks off Stanislaw and retreats, and that's going to allow Misfits to play a little bit stronger of a defense. Nitro goes top train, tries to make something happen, but the only thing that happens is he falls to Devo Duvek, and that's 2 more for him as well. So a solid hold for Misfits. I mean, yeah, 1 more buy coming in here for Liquid, but could we see overtime here?
I'd say it's a possibility. We'll have to see, though. 4 potential more investments for Team Liquid still to come. And this round, well, there's going to be a pause. I was about to say there absolutely should be a buy here from Team Liquid, so I was a little bit confused as to why they hadn't gone for it yet. The only one that's really below that limit is Twist, but he's still, you know, keep in mind, he's 3,900 total since he already got that smoke. So he's still in a pretty good position himself. At the very worst, he can, you know, ump armor and full utility this buy more than likely. Misfits, though, finding their stride. They've got a double op set up now. I mean, they're looking good, so we will have to figure out exactly what Team Liquid needs. They only need, again, just that 1 round, so that's probably what they are trying to figure out. All right, what's the strat that's going to work for us here? How can we push this to the edge? And we did see Twist just fully buy into it, so I imagine the others are going to follow through in a second.
How many times have we seen games where, like, they get to, like, 15, 14, and they just end with, like, some strat that should never work ever? It's, like, the dumbest thing on earth. Like, an eco round, fast play. I feel like I've seen so many games end that way. If you're Misfits, that's got to be playing in the back of your head. Like, yeah, we're bringing this one back, but we're still on the edge of defeat. JDM with an early pickoff on B. They don't realize that that's it for the B defense. Sean Garris has been playing solo B for a majority of this half for the likes of Misfits. They do pull someone over. 6 going to rotate towards the tanker train, but now that makes the ace that much weaker. Just 2 players here defending. Devo Duvek using the little bit of utility they have here to put an incendiary down on the ladder, but there's no one even there. He's just trying to delay a potential push coming in. It's the right call. Shazam is here with his op. He's back lane. I'm moving up towards Green Train with his AWP. The players are coming out of T-Con. It's all going to come down to Shazam realistically. And unfortunately, he's caught looking the other way. What a flick from Shazam. Still manages to pick off Stanislaw. But Nitro trades him out so quickly. The damage that was dealt was just too much for him to overcome. Devo Duvek is still on the site. Just ice water in his veins between these 2 pillars. But in the end, he too does go down, and Sick will drop in from ladder, and his body will meet the ground. It will be the map going the way of Liquid and the series as well, 2-1.
And so that is going to send Team Liquid forward into the grand final, where they're going to face off against CLG, which is slated to start, guys, right now. Obviously, we're going to give the teams a little bit of a break, so Liquid's probably going to need a few minutes to get themselves settled in and whatnot, but CLG should be ready to go at any moment. As soon as those teams are ready to go, folks, we will be jumping into the grand final, so do stick with us, as that is coming up in just a little bit right here at the ESL One Cologne 2017 North American Closed Qualifiers.